in space are as countless as all the grains of sand on all the beaches of the earth. Each of those worlds is as real as ours. In every one of them, there's a succession of incidents, events, occurrences, which influence its future. Countless worlds, numberless moments, an immensity of space and time. We are also capable of using our compassion and our intelligence, our technology and our wealth to make an abundant and meaningful life for every inhabitant of this planet, to enhance enormously our understanding of the universe and to carry us to the stars.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. How's it going?
Hey,
I think we made it, and I have to adjust my camera because I was farting around.
Is it working?
I hope so. I think everybody's off by a little bit. Oh, you know what it is? I didn't have to adjust my camera. I got the chat window open. Close the chat window, and that'll sort us out. Now I got to turn me back. What's going on,
we're
boys?
live. We made it.
We did.
Nice.
We figured it out.
Slow and steady.
So welcome to the debut of Wild Eye Harder. My name is Eric Lamour, and with me is Gary McCallum, also known as the Murder Hobo. There he is.
Oh, you know what? I got us off. I'm not Carl Kiesler. What a letdown this has become. You guys carry on. I'll organize in the background.
Yeah, Gary is our technician.
He's a tech wizard.
Yeah, he's the wizard. So
case you haven't noticed.
Anything goes wrong with this stream, it's his fault.
Yeah, I'm just showing up, so it's all Gary.
And also, yeah, this guy right there, Carl Kiesler of Dughouse Rules, and graphic designer extraordinaire, prop maker, and official Pinnacle Entertainment Group demo guy, and all this pretty trade dress there. That's him. So again, these two guys.
What's up?
So you might be wondering why we're doing this. In case you don't know about us, the Wild Eye Podcast. Well, we've been a Savage Rolls podcast for 5 years now. And we thought it'd be fun to extend our reach and add another show to the brand by broadcasting a live show on Twitch. So the podcast switched to a shorter format earlier this year when Carl joined. And that leaves us little time to, have guests and discuss certain topics in more depth, I would say. So we thought this would be a great opportunity, a bit more loose, a bit more open to interact with the community too, and the fans. And like I said, I have guests on and hang out. And so we hope to grow this into a friendly monthly gathering of Savage Rolls fans. So thanks for joining us. It's also not just rambling on. We're going to have topics. And for this one, well, this was a request from one of our patrons, Conrad, and he wanted to see the props, the stuff that we use when we run our games, our dice or dice bags, bennies, cards, whatever, all that stuff. And that was kind of odd to answer that question in our audio only podcast. So I thought that would be the perfect way to start this off. And so that's what we're going to do. But first, I wanted to talk a little bit about the games we're playing, the Savage Rolls games we're playing and that we're about to play. So I'm about to, with Gary, we're about to start the After campaign in a couple weeks.
Pretty exciting.
That book looks awesome. Looks amazing. Whoever did the graphic design of that. Really
there's a podcast that talked all about it. I don't know if you've heard about it or not, but they did a complete episode on it and how amazing and cool it was.
What podcast might that be, Gary?
I don't know. It's some jack show. Who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah, it's the Murder Hobo show, of course.
Yeah.
And if you're in chat, just behave. We try to keep that PG-13. We weren't sure about the kind of rating we wanted to use with this because when it's live, sometimes some words can slip and that kind of thing. But we're gonna try to behave, and we hope that in the chat you behave as well.
Behave.
So yeah. The After, I'm going to be playing in that. That's Gary's co-host, Uncle Jay, that's going to run it. And I'm really excited about the character I'm going to play. It came from a GIF, and he's called Goaty Lee, and he's a man-goat mutant. And he plays the banjo, and he's also a mind-bender. And the hindrances, I kind of made him up. I mean, one is quirk, and of course goats chew on stuff, so I'm gonna do that, chew on stuff that aren't really edible. The other one is that if I get surprised, I faint. So
man, if I
You're playing Goat Boy from Saturday Night Live,
right? Yeah. If I wake up in game missing my underwear, I know who I'm looking for.
That's right. So yeah,
I'm
pretty excited about that. Gary is too. It's been a while since we played a game together, so
that's because you're not a very cool dudester anymore. You don't want to come and play with me no more. Leave me out hanging.
Well, it's you at your ICRPG, and that's all you play these days. So that's what happens.
That was the system that was not going to be named on the Savage Worlds podcast.
And the other game is just a one shot. It's run by a friend of ours, John Steve, and he's running the Furious 5, so Kung Fu Panda. So that should be fun too. That's in a couple weeks. Excited for that. And
playing a goat in that too, or
no? I'm not sure which one. Maybe the monkey or the mantis.
Kung Fu goats.
They're all good, right? So yeah, Kung Fu goat. Kung Fu rat.
Yeah.
A little rat. No, that should be fun too. And also, while the campaign I've been running for a couple months now, we've already played 5 sessions. Deadlands, we wanted to start the Weird West, so we've been playing with the new rules. Really cool. That I mean, the idea was that I wanted to run Horde at Headstone Hill, but at that time it wasn't ready yet. So we were going to run For Whom the Whistle Blows, which is Night Train 2. And turns out that over the weekend, it came out. The PDF came out, and the whole box set in digital format is out. And we always expect great quality, production quality from Pinnacle, of course, to the point where it's kind of a given. We take it for granted. But I'm going to tell you, and we got someone here who worked on it. That thing is amazing. It's really impressive. I'm really impressed with the quality of it. The campaign, that's a long campaign, but also it's just a campaign setting, Easton Hill, that takes place in, and you could run a whole campaign without even touching the plot point campaign in there. But the way it's set up, and I like the adversary cards and the new archetypes in there that they included, the handouts, the maps, everything. It's just, like Gary would say, top notch.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate that, Eric. I put a lot of extra hours and a lot of overtime into that trade dress. I really took my time with the Western style themes.
Wait, what?
Oh, man, you're so lucky I didn't do the trade dress on that. You'd just be a bunch of stick men that look like, they were like a Pooh Brown or something. It'd be so bad. It'd be so horrible.
Yeah, I was impressed what they did with what I gave them and stuff, because I did some of the work on it, the trade dress, and I did some of the handouts. That they really took it up to another level and stuff with what I gave them. Simon and I think Matt Cutter.
Yep.
Yeah, they did a great job. I can't wait to get into that and just like read it, and haven't had time, but it looks awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I read the player's guide type of thing in the introduction. It's only like 8 pages, and then I read the first maybe dozen pages or so of the GM guide, and there's an extensive gazetteer for the region and for the city, and then it's all plot points.
That's cool.
There's got to be 2 dozens of them in there. Some of them are like 1A, B, C, because it depends what the characters decide to do, and then there's another like 2 dozen just Savage Tales. So
nice.
There's really there's a lot you can do with that. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. We'll see. Probably gonna run that after For Whom the Whistle Blows. We've had 2 character deaths and 1 guy who's incapacitated right now. And the last session 5, it was those 2 guys, 1 death and incapacitated, and it was their own fault. It wasn't even my fault. It's like a series of 3 critical failure while handling dynamite, 12 sticks of dynamite. And
wow.
The thing is, you think Explosion Savage Worlds is going to be medium burst template or large burst template,
Mm-hmm.
But I hadn't read the rules on explosives, and it turns out that the distance was 12 inches, and they were away from a large burst template. And then the third crit fail, I say the guy falls over the plunger, and there was 1 stick of dynamite that was stuck in Tommy's pocket, and he went to throw it, but he rolled a critical failure. So I say it rolled around, it spun around them, and that's how he fell over with the plunger. So that was only 2d6 damage or something like that, and they soaked it. They were all right, but then the weird scientist that was handling the explosive, I could see the whole time his face was like, oh no. And then I was like, calm down. I mean, it's all right. It's just 2d6 and the rest's going to blow up. And then he says, no, it's 12 inches, and they were within range, and it was 6d6 plus 6 damage. And
Take that,
Wow.
I
suckers.
rolled like 42 damage and 35.
Yeah.
They had like 7 and 9 wounds each.
Yeah.
Tommy was out of bennies, so that was it for him. The other guy had 1 Benny, and he didn't soak enough, and then his ink roll, he managed to stay alive, but they're in bad shape. But at least the sun is
That's
up,
awesome.
That's
so the
cool.
vampires are going to go away. But then there's other stuff that's going to happen, and in case some of the players are listening, I'm not going to say more.
See, that's
So
the
Gary,
point.
we all know you're not playing Savage Rolls right now, so we're just gonna skip you.
That's okay. Yeah, don't mind at all. I was just gonna say, if I was playing Savage Worlds, that'd be the point at which some kind of like behemoth monster comes up out of the sand and just starts, might as well finish them
Yeah.
off. You've already done 40 something.
What do they call desert things? The tremor, the graboids.
Yeah. Gosh, I forget what they're called, but yeah, the tremors,
Yeah,
sandworm type things. I forget the hell they're called. Yeah.
yeah.
They were just
That'd be it.
Yeah.
So what about you, Carl?
Oh man, I'm taking a little GM break right now. I'm just a little busy with the freelance and stuff right now and everything going on. So I have a bunch of players that are stepping up. I play in a game that's here and there. Whenever we can get together. So it's not on a regular schedule. I'm playing Rippers. So I'm playing a weird science guy in that. It's pretty awesome. And he's cool because when I was at Genghis Khan this past year, I played a character in Ron Blessing's game where he was just a support character. That's all he did. And so this dude, I made him like a pacifist, and all he's doing is support stuff. And it's amazing. It's so much fun just buffing people and doing all kinds of cool stuff. And I'm in 2 other games where we just started brand new campaigns. Last 2 weekends in a row, we did like a session 0 where we talked about characters and got things going. So one of them is a teen superheroes game set in the 70s. We're all in high school. I'm playing like I made like a character again. He's kind of going to be a little bit of support character, but he's going to be able to fight and stuff. It's kind of like Longshot from the X-Men. He has the boost ability, but he took the limitation, so that's all he can do is just boost abilities, boost your trait.
Okay. Yeah, boost lower. Yeah.
Yeah, boost. So he's just doing the boost part of the boost your traits, which is awesome. And I'm giving him luck and common bond and all that stuff. And the other game, we just made characters for Monster Hunters Club, and that's the game that was kickstarted years ago, and they finally got it fulfilled, and the digital PDF's out for the backers. And I made a character, a little kid. I'm playing against type a little bit. I'm playing the shrimp. I'm definitely not a shrimp. So I'm playing the little kid, and he's got a little meanness to him. He's a little attitude problem. He comes from he lives on the wrong side of the tracks, and he's a little poor, and his parents look like they should be his grandparents, and he's got 3 older brothers that are in their 20s. It's great. So
a little sheltered, maybe.
Yeah. Little cool little kid that hopefully get in some mischief and get on some adventures with that group. Can't wait to play that game. Shout out to Bert and Candace, both running those games. It's awesome.
Go Bert.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, go Bert and Candace. It's good to give your GM a break sometimes.
Oh, it's a godsend. I just can't wait to play.
It is. All right. Well, with that said, let's show our stuff. So Gary's more into running online games. When we meet at cons, he doesn't really run games, so he doesn't really have set to show up. But
I don't have anything,
stuff,
fellas.
that stuff on TTS that he puts together, that's Tabletop Simulator, a virtual 3D environment. It's pretty sweet. So I guess we can switch on to the murder cam and let's look at that a little bit.
Gary's to the main screen where you guys can hear me. And actually, hold on a second. Maybe I can fix this if I go to Gary's camera. We want to add this one in. Now you guys should be able to hear me. And I got to make sure that I'm going to do that to the rest of you guys. See? It's show number 1. It's got to hit its hiccups. It should be coming through now, though. Audio's back. Anybody? Yes? No? Carry on.
I'm waiting on in the chat to see if Dave says it's back. He says yes.
All right,
so
fantastic. All right, here's my beautiful 3D table. You can see that I'm in the holodeck of the Starship Enterprise. That's where I like to play my game. So I don't know what it is about this background setting, but it just sort of makes me feel like I prefer it to trees and stuff like that. You want to play a cool online game? Tabletop Simulator's the way to go. This is my go-to. And while you're doing it, you want to play some Savage Worlds? Check this stuff out. Inside Savage Worlds, we got the power cards put in here, all 54 of them. We'll flip these suckers over. You don't like them small, you want them bigger? Check that out. I'll just make them bigger at the press of a button. Not too shabby, eh? All the power cards, you can flip them over. You can see what they are. So you can, it's super easy. This is the cool part about Tabletop Simulator and playing online as well. It's Control C, Control V. Bam, you want to give another player a power deck, just like that. But not only do we have the power deck with all of the powers and stuff like that, we got the action deck. Let's scooch this sucker up a little bit. Check it out. I imported all of the artwork so that you can see all the cards. I'm gonna pull these bad boys off. 2 of spades, 3 of spades, right? It's just a regular ass card deck. If you want to play 2 at a time, you can go that route too. Spin this cool sucker over. One of the cool parts about Tabletop Simulator too is that you right click on this bad boy and you want to deal a card. It's as simple as deal to the color of the player. So I want to deal a couple of cards to orange. Boom, boom, boom. They shoot over to the orange side. Now you actually can't see them because I am currently white, but if I made myself black, the Game Master, there it is. Bada bing, check it out. So it makes dealing cards pretty sweet and pretty easy, right? Well, not only do we have the action deck, we also got some wounded, or the, what were these ones? The status cards? Yeah, check it out. You can deal these out to your players so that you know exactly what's going on with them. I even actually have tokens, or not tokens, what do you call it? The status tokens. I have a little status token chip that I made, so those are in game. Now you're like, okay, well, what about character sheets, right? Have we got decent character sheets? Check these suckers out. I made some. Well, I didn't make these. These are courtesy of I don't even remember who, but you can go right up here and click on this bad boy, and you can type in your name. Hopefully that's showing up on camera. Right, and then same thing. You want to put in your pace parry, 6, parry of 6, toughness of 6, and then I added this little bit down here, so we get an armor of 4. Right. You want to click on what you got for rolls, or what your dice are and stuff. They're all easily accessible, and then this thing saves every time you save the game. You would just throw it off onto the side, but. So that's a Deadlands specific one because we were talking about Deadlands tonight, right? You got your wounds and stuff down here for keeping track of all that goodness. And
do you have the dice, the exploding dice too?
I sure do. Not only do I have exploding dice, but somebody that is super cool in the old Savage Worlds deal. Let's see if I go to my objects. Somebody took the Savage Worlds. I think it's right here, Savage Worlds Click Roller script. Now this Click Roller script is fantastic for playing online. Oh, we're having a bit of a seizure, a bit of a lockup here. Let's close this sucker down. So yeah,
it's graphic intensive.
If you start, say let's say you got 2 6s. You got one of them is the wild die, so you got the green color and the other color, and then check that out on the top of the screen. It'll tell you trait and damage. So if you're rolling for a trait, like you're going to roll, I'm going to roll my shooting. My shooting is a D6. Oh, I rolled actually 2D6 on this one. But these suckers will jump, and the green one shows you your wild die, and it cleans them up and stuff too when it's all said and done. After so many seconds, it gets rid of them, right? So you would take the old click roller and you would make it whatever size you want, throw it off on the side of the table. everybody has one of these. I'll show you my game table here in half a second. We'll lock this down, right? So there it is. It's going to roll the 2d6s. Neither one of them actually exploded, so this is not helping. But the cool part is it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're doing a trait roll or a damage roll, it doesn't. There it goes. Okay, auto rolled and added it up. So it's either a trait of 7 or a damage 7. Other cool things that you can do with this bad boy. You can click on this and you can go to reset the deck. It'll pull them all back in. Shuffle the deck. If you draw a joker, it's just mouse over and hit R. So that's pretty sweet, right? So you see on the bottom I got an ace. If I flip the deck back over, hit roll a couple of times, flip it back over, deck is shuffled just like that. Yeah, so man, this is, for me, it's pretty sweet. You want to deal out some cards to everybody. You do some of that action. Everybody around the table has got a card. But actually, one of the real cool things, too, is depending on how many players you have, see, it just pulls them all back in. Flip this sucker over. With the press of one button, you can deal to everybody. Skaboosh. Look at Carl. Carl's like, oh, man.
Oh, that's cool, man.
One of the other cool things, we got a lot of cool stuff that you can do inside a Tabletop Simulator. This is the main reason that I like to use it. Let's reset those cards. So you got your character sheets, you got all your cards in game. I mean, at least I put them in game. I don't know if they would have a problem. This is generally just for my private game.
What about when someone cheats or get frustrated and wants to flip the table?
Well,
You gotta show them that.
We could do flipping the table. Like, I mean, I could just literally just screw you guys, I'm out of here kind of a thing, right? it goes off. You know, that you might think to yourself, okay, yeah, I don't want my players flipping the table because I'm in the middle of building some cool stuff. But you can actually turn that stuff off. Now I'm going to show you guys quickly my Adventurers League table. Not for... There we go. Second to load in. All right. Now that it's loaded, you want to talk about some cool stuff? I'll just give you a little quick rundown of the kind of cool tables and stuff that you can get. I don't think I want my mainframe table. What I do want to do is I'll just bust out a table that I think is pretty sweet. I want to see all of them.
Just show a map.
Oh, what happened
One of those
there?
cool 3D maps.
Oh, I know what I did. I want to go see all. Battle of Audacity. This might actually be a cool one. We'll give it a second to build because it's going to take a few seconds. But this is kind of cool because this ties into Vey and her stuff. Once the table is loaded, I will show you. This was the table. So this pirate ship that I built all of this entire ship comes from a single map, like a flat map that Vey had made. All of the pieces are cut out in GIMP, and then I just basically stick them all together, and I turn them into this sort of a 3D element. I could tear this thing apart and sort of show you how it works, but yeah, I built that pirate ship table. The Battle of the Audacity has like a fire, like a ghost ship crashed into the side of it and stuff. But yeah, you got fire and lighting and whatnot. If you want to go over here and you want to set it to, say, nighttime, press the button, lights go down.
Amazing, man.
Yeah, it's
you
pretty
had
cool,
your
eh?
minis.
And this is the reason that I like it. It's the closest thing to being at the table. You've got your dice, you've got your cards, everybody sits around. I'm going to try out something pretty cool here in a little while that Ion Farmer showed me. You can there's tablets that you can get in-game. And he was showing me on the tablet how you can strain your face. So if you set up a tablet at each one of your little spots, I could actually portray my face where my GM stand is. Everybody could be looking at each other on video in the actual game. Let me go back here and reset the. We'll put her back to normal. You want to talk about some cool minis and stuff like that? Now I like to use paper minis, but I do a blend. There's Clunge. He's a little paper mini. This is Mercy. This is Vey's character. Over here we got another paper miniature. This is I always forget what his friggin' name is. Brednir's character. Not only do you have 2Ds, but you have 3Ds. So if you want horses and stuff like that, let me make the horse bigger. Right. Spin it around. There you
Horse
go.
and water.
Right? They got a little pack. Sometimes I like to kill their horses because when they critically fail, you know where the arrows landed. It, like right in the middle of your horse's head. And sorry, but you're walking while everybody else is doing their deal. Yeah, so I mean that's kind of it in a nutshell. You can play Savage Worlds on this super easily. Now this one doesn't use the because this isn't a Savage Worlds table. It does it a little bit differently, but you got everything you need. I got all my if I go to my objects here and I go to my saved objects and show you my Savage World stuff. I have the old school action deck from the last one, bennies and whatnot. I can drop bennies on the table. So these are the actual old bennies. Now I have one of these, I believe, that is the it's all of them. You know how they have the laser gun and the sword and whatnot, right? I have a token here somewhere symbols with all the symbols on it and stuff like that. And then this is the effort token that I was talking about. You can drop on there. Now here's the cool part. This thing has states. So right now it's on aim. So I'm going to say this character is aiming. But let's say this guy, for example, he gets distracted. Boop, just like that. And then I only need like one token. It's got all the things on it, and I can just put it wherever I want. Control C, Control V, make another one. Everything. It's fantastic. But that's my gimmick. Nice. That's my setup. That's my deal.
Cool. Yeah, it's virtual props instead of usually VTTs. You see, it's just one static screen, and it's all about automation and running the game for you. And what I like about TTS is that it's just about moving props like you would around a real table. So
yep. And you can see too now, you can see this little white. I changed my color to white. I'm no longer the GM, so other players have different perspectives. You'll notice that this table is completely hidden, so I have like my own little GM secret nook of stuff where I can hide stuff. And when I go back to changing the color back to black, my little stash of, here's my table. I got weapons tags for all of my stuff, spell powers, wisdoms powers, dynamic dice. This is the control board for all the maps. If I want to lock the table down, I just press this button and nobody can move anything if people are being goofy and grabbing stuff. You want to put sound in game. Let's see if we can pick up the sound of gentle waves lapping. Okay, not bad, eh? Looping effect. Let's turn that off. What else we got? I got a little. We got some freeze going on here.
So it's all moody.
Yeah, I got a little character or a little monster card that I put in game and stuff over here, so you can check some of that stuff out too. Right, these things will change. Right now it says kobold, but I have a bunch of ICRPG monsters that I put in bandits and common folk. And here's a flesh fiend if I want to quickly pull up stats. So that's rather than make it where I got to pick it up and carry it somewhere, I build everything inside my game.
Nice.
Dang, that's amazing, man.
Yeah, that's how I roll. Carl, one day you got to come and play with me. We'll take you through an adventure and show you some of the maps. Like Vay's boat's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. But I got some pretty freaking amazing maps.
That's pretty cool, man.
All right, let's head back to the main screen. We can all come back together, hang out in the same room.
Yeah, my turn. So
we're gonna go to the we got to go to the lamb cam.
The lamb cam, and
meter. Okay, we should have audio again there.
So this is something I use if I go to someone else's house or a con and I can drive to okay, he says it's working. So if I can drive, I'll use a tackle box. All right, and what I put in there, well, on the top of it, I can put like little terrain pieces at the top. But the main reason is I'll use for minis, and I'll use those trays and then put all my minis in that tray. Granted, it's not really padded or anything, but I don't really love my minis that much, I guess. So yeah, I'll put I'll put whatever. Well, in this one, I got like half of the minis I got, or just about. But like when we went on the cruise and um, Genghis Khan, I would put like for my 2 games, I put all the minis that I have in there, and then just bring this with me instead of the big tackle box because apparently, obviously, in airports you can't really carry that big thing around, right?
That's perfect for like pre-painted plastic minis that
Yeah.
that can get bumped around. It doesn't matter.
The plastic ones, the Hero
Yeah.
Clicks one. That's
Yeah.
why. But one of them was in there, and that's why Genghis. I asked you if you had super glue because one of them got bumped. And,
That's the reason that I switched over to paper minis, man. I was tired of my sweet minis that I would spend hours painting, getting scratched up and beaten and dinged and broken.
yeah,
Now they're paper. I don't care. I'll light their faces on fire just for fun. Right, Eric?
yeah, especially if it's me on there. The other thing is, you walk around halls and stuff at conventions, and that's a big crate, and it comes with a like airport thing. So
Nice.
I can just stack stuff on top of there. I'll have like copy paper boxes full of terrain or whatnot, and I'll just stack it up, and then I can just walk around with it instead of trying to carry everything around.
Cool.
It holds quite a bit of stuff too. And if I'm not using it, it can even fold itself, and it doesn't take a whole lot of room.
Is that carry-on size? Like you can bring that on to the plane with you?
No, it's
No.
not.
Okay.
No, it's too big for that.
Yeah.
For that, I use, Carl's going to show it too, because that he put me up to this, but like
Oh,
plastic bins like this,
yeah.
that's what I'll put in a carry-on. Carl
those-
does it a little bit different, but
Yeah,
last
tho-
time the other one cracked. So
those things are there's a standard size for that, is there not? Like, I don't know what you guys
Yeah.
using. Is it by quart down there or something like that? Because in Canada, if you were
Yeah.
to buy something like that, we just go by liters. That looks like it's probably about
Well,
10 or 15 liters.
the carry-on has to fit under the seat in front of you. So, but then you have one that you can put up in the luggage too. Depends on the airline that you're using, of course.
Yeah.
Right? Then one of the joys of Savage Worlds, right, is to theme your game. So a couple of years ago, I started running Forget About It. Oh, t-shirt. Oh, look at that.
Oh, I feel like that was pre-programmed. That was set up
Oh
already.
man, I want one.
No, that was the first t-shirt on top of my stack there, because
You
my
know,
other shirt had like a big grease stain over here from eating spaghetti or something.
you should sign that and send it off to Sean Kelly over at Gaming and BS for as many times as he mentions Forget About It.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So I went on eBay and found this thing right here, a
Nice.
shine box.
Oh, wow.
An actual shine box.
Yeah,
Get your shine box.
You can put your foot there, and it's a real box, so you can put stuff in
Nice.
there. Again, storage.
That's
And
awesome.
it's just themed. I paid way more than I should have, and it came broken, and I had to fix it up a little bit, but I'm pretty proud of it. 'Cause it's a shine box. Let's see what else. Well, another theme there. We went to an antique store, and I found this cigar box. Well, they have plenty of them, and they were pretty cheap. So, again, you just put stuff in there, and it looks themed. What I use a lot, and Gary showed it with this TTS, but I used the one from the box, the Savage Worlds Adventure
Now,
Essential.
did you
Those
stick
are
all
great.
of those back in there?
Yeah. There's a couple missing.
What?
There's a,
You put them back in the cardboard thing?
Yeah, that's what I was.
That's hilarious.
You put them. You
Oh my
pushed them all
gosh.
back in.
Well, that way I don't have to dig in in a bag, and when I'm looking for one, it's right in front of me, and then whoop, I need this one. I pick it.
It's genius, dude.
Otherwise,
It's genius because most people would just throw them away. I mean, I'm pretty sure,
I
right?
know.
And not
Well,
Eric.
eventually we'll get to that because they won't stick in that thing anymore, right? One thing I like a lot is, of course, bags. So I'll put everything in bags like that in my bennies, my deck of cards. Here's one I like to use, and shameless plug here. That's something that we do there. And one thing I like about this deck and why I use it often is because huge numbers.
Oh yeah.
So you play around a big table, and it's easy to see from across the table. And it's got nice
Yep.
art for
Nice.
Joker and stuff. So
Those are my go-to in gaming cards, in game or like in person, I should say. Those are my go-tos. I like the huge size. It's awesome.
yep, you don't have to squint or anything. Of course, that one is themed for like fantasy, but we got one for pirates too. But otherwise, like, well, a lot of stuff I got here is from the last games I ran, basically, right? And of course, for Wise Guys, went to Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
I bought these deck cards. There's two of them, and they got money on one side, and then they're all shiny. They're a bit slippery, so they get away from your hands really easily when you shuffle them. But you got to theme your game a little bit. So for that same game, and one of the easy things that you can do with Wise Guys is that to theme it, you just use Vegas poker chips, right?
Yeah.
And then you got the theme there already. So I like the weight of poker chips. So whenever I use those, great. And of course, I'll use in other games, I'll use the ones that came in the essentials box too. People have probably already seen those, right? One bag from a friend of ours that made that, Jen, and it's a bag.
Cool.
Since obviously I wrote Wise Guys and all that, so and inside it's paper money, right? Bills. So yeah, that's where I'll put. Like if I'm running Wise Guys, I put both of my Wise Guys decks in there. So I know that this is for Wise Guys game, and then I'll make another bag for another game if they're themed differently.
You have a
People like
lot of
nice-
Savage World stuff when you have Savage Worlds themed Savage Worlds gear, right? It's like I have a
Oh,
duffel
yeah.
bag for when I go golfing. I got a duffel bag for when I go hunting. Eric's like, I got a duffel bag for when I play Wise Guys. I got one for when I do
That's right.
Deadlands.
Well, that's smart because when you're running and I do the same thing. I label stuff because when you're running like 3 games at a con or something, and you got stuff everywhere, you're like, where did I put that thing? Oh wait, it's in my Wise Guys bag.
Yep. Dice tray, and instead of paying like $30, that was $8. It's called a nightstand tray, and it's the same thing. It's
Yeah.
just you fold it, and I like that.
That's actually
It's
pretty sweet.
padded.
I like the soft ones that they make. But that's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
cool.
For $1, you could probably get an ashtray instead of a nightstand tray.
That's true.
Put it in your shine box.
Something themed that
Oh, yeah.
Gary did
Nice.
for us. So it's all rolled up. If you've never
Nice.
heard of that company, they're in the UK, and they make these. So I got 2 of them, but that one is Wild Eye themed. So you open them up, you got a little pouch here for your dice. Then you could put a deck of cards, or notepad or whatever.
Index cards.
Index cards, yeah, pen, and whatnot. So you got all that and everything you need if you're a player and you go to a game, and just put that together. and you go game with that. I got another one, blue one here. It's got DCC dice in there.
Those are cool.
And one more thing I wanted to show was we've been talking about it, but the Wild Eye podcast conviction tokens for patrons, and that was designed by Zovia RPG Map. Gary talked about her earlier. Vey,
so talented, man, so talented.
She designed this, and then I got a 3D printer, printed that up. It's actually 2 parts glued together, 2 sides, and then just spray paint it brown, and then a little bit of gold paint on there, and it looked great. So let's see. Do I have anything else? Oh yeah. So one thing, if you play Savage Worlds and you play with maps and minis, but you don't want to play with a grid. So what I did was I made these sticks, and they're 12 inches long, and every color is 1 inch. So, you can just lay them out and see real quick, how close you are, if you run, if you're going to get to it. And of course, the old Wargamer trick with the with the measuring tape. So if you don't play with a grid and distance matters to you, it doesn't. I'm not really stingy with it, but like sometimes it's good to have that. And of course, some Wild Eye dice. So if you see me at a convention, come talk to me, and I'll give you one of those. We don't have that many left though now. I've given so many of them away at all the conventions. So I guess that's it. I mean, dice is dice, right? So,
do you like to throw them at the players that misbehave?
That's right. That's why your face looks like that.
I have so many D6 indents in my melon.
All right, let's go to Carl.
Let's hit the transition screen. Come back here and say hi, everybody, so you remember that we're all here. People are showing up, and they're like, who's that guy talking to? This is the crew. And then while we're here, I'm going to see if I can't maybe shoot over to Carl's cam. I'm trying studio mode right now to see if I can actually do a thing and sort of trick this into working so that when Carl's comes up, Voicemeeter is already added. That's what I'm thinking. Carl, you ready to rock this out, buddy?
I'm ready, man.
All right. We're going
to transition. Done.
Right on the cam. Am I good to go?
Here we go. Carl's cam is up. And we should still have audio because I did it ahead of time.
All right. Can everybody hear me? Everybody cool? All right. So these are some of the things I bring to conventions, and I'm not going to show you some of the things. Eric already showed you some things that I bring, but I'm going to show you some different things. For miniatures, these things are awesome. These are from Chessex, and they are little bitty like miniature cases. These things are. I have dozens of these things. I have a couple for almost every game I run, and what they do is this is a Wise Guys from the Wise Guys game. For your really good painted miniatures that you don't want to get messed up, you can put them in these things because it has like foam padding and stuff. And you can put it like 14 of them, I think, something like that. Yeah, 14 of them.
How much is that thing? I
think it's like $14 or $13 or something like that. It's not too bad.
Not bad.
And they're perfect size for traveling because look how big that is. That is, or look how small that is. I should say it's tiny, and you can stack these things up and just put them in your luggage on your carry-on, and you're good to go. And if they're plastic miniatures like what Eric brings, and I have some of those too, I usually just throw them in I'll get like a pencil, like a kid's pencil box, and just throw those HeroClix that you rebased. These are my ninjas. They're none but ninjas in there. And just throw them in there, and they're good to go. You can see that.
Cool. Yeah.
So,
it's cool.
Little pencil cases. Awesome. I've also used where you put your cards in, like if you're a Magic collector or something like that, you can put your those cardboard boxes. You can put those cards in there. They're easy, great stuff to put. Got Goonies cards here. This is for my Goonies Ghostbusters game.
Well, you weren't kidding when you said you did label everything. I'm reading all the labels every time you show us some stuff. It's all labeled.
Yeah, because I've actually been to a game and I'm like, oh crap, where is that thing that I needed? And it's up in my hotel room. So yeah, I don't do that anymore. I label everything, color coordinate them, anything to. And when I get in the hotel room, I'll make like different piles. Like this pile's for this game, this pile's for that game, and this pile's for every game. Like it'll have my rule book and the it'll have the status cards that we use. These things are awesome. I love these status cards. Not only are they amazing at the table, they're from Pinnacle, and I have them on little sleeves here.
Yeah,
they're amazing at the table, but they teach you the rules. I mean, if those teach new players the rules, all they have to do is look at the card and they're like, oh, that's what it does. Okay, that's what Wounded does. That's what Distracted does. So they're amazing at conventions. I would highly recommend these.
Yeah, those sleeves that you got, those are like, I know I've seen them up here. You can go to any kind of like magic shop or something like that and go in there and get really nice, like those ones look like really nice ones, because you can just get like cheap flimsy plastic ones, but you'll notice Carl's have like full solid red on one side. Those are the more expensive ones. You can get them sort of color coded and stuff when they're flipped over, which is pretty cool.
So how old these are? These are so old. These were when I was playing Magic back in the 2000, early 2000s, late 90s. That's how old these sleeves are. Wow. And they've kept up this long. So yeah, get good ones and they won't split on you.
Not like your wife, right? Your wife will split on you because you play role-playing games.
Exactly.
Nerd.
And I use those bins that Eric was showing. You get them at Home Depot. They're really small little bins. And of course, I label them. I don't know if you can see that, TPSA. And you can see the masking tape from it's been to many, many conventions. Man. I carry masking tape with me in my luggage, and I just tape them up, man, because they're gonna fly open. TSA wants to look in them. You know how many times TSA has looked in my stuff, man?
You better be careful what you actually label on those things, because if you ever get into like a SWAT game and you start labeling them grenades and bombs and rifles, like, man, you're getting yanked off that plane before you ever make it off the tarmac.
So this is one of the boxes I use for Trailer Park Shark Attack. You can see I've made rooftops. See them here, but they're flat. And so I just throw them on the table, and they're flat little rooftops and little Christmas trees.
Christmas lights.
And you put the miniatures on top of them. And that's my Benny's as a PBR. Blue Libran. If you can see that.
The one that have the card seats and all that.
Yeah.
That's
and so awesome. I was running this before Suede, and Suede came out with the new rule that you can spend bennies to get a new card, where I had already kind of done that with these, that you could spend the benny, and if it had like a 9 of clubs on it, your card, and if your card said like a 2 or whatever, you can spend the benny and it replaces that card. So it's like almost like the same thing that they came out with. So
now for the listeners,
you can get a lot of stuff in these things.
How many beers would the listeners have to drink to get a collection like that?
That would be a lot. I wouldn't know because I didn't drink them. I cheated.
Well, you could get your kids to drink the beers and help you out, to help you get your collection right.
Yeah. What else? Okay, character sheets. I like to do some cool stuff with character sheets. I have some other bins back here, but they're big. Like I've actually taken this to a convention before. That's my Kung Fury. I don't know if you can see it. Camera's kind of weirding out on it.
Yeah,
so I can get a couple of these in luggage, and this for my bigger stuff, like Kung Fu Cthulhu. There he is without the wings. So he has to make an appearance on Fury Harder.
I went on eBay or Troll and Toad to find that one, and it was going for like over $100 now.
Yeah, I got it much cheaper than that. One of the ones I got, the wing was a little busted, but that was fine. So it was a little cheaper, but yeah, they're super expensive now.
That's awesome. Item. Have you got the 8-track cassette character sheet kicking around there somewhere?
Yes, they're right here.
Now, what box is that labeled in?
These are actually on my shelf as I just have them stacked on my shelf just as like a collector's thing,
Yeah.
That's what's cool about making stuff like this for your games. After your game, you have these cool memories of a physical memory here of the game that you played. And what I did was I actually bought 8-tracks off of eBay. Okay. And I took one of them and I took the case, the cardboard case, I laid it flat and I kind of measured the sides and I kind of built it in InDesign and made like a case where you could have, this is for Kolchak, Carl Kolchak. You can have his little bio on the back, and I put a picture here, and I just glued it together, and it got kind of ragged out and worn out throughout the times I played it at a convention, but that kind of gives it character.
It looks like it's from the 70s.
Exactly. And this is an actual tape. You can see the tape in there and everything. I don't remember what music was on there.
You got to buy an 8-track player and put it in, just see what happens.
Yeah,
see what it plays.
I totally
See
forget.
what it plays. Christian
like,
pop rock.
Yeah, it probably was, or Conway Twitty or something like that.
Hall and Oates.
Yeah. So I actually I measured the labels and stuff to make sure everything fit, and I made these a cool logo with labels, kind of made all kinds of cool stuff on it, and
Awesome.
figured out the bottom. So this is all one piece of paper here, and the stats are right there on the back. This is old deluxe version. So
yeah, that is wicked cool, buddy. That is wicked cool.
Yeah,
So
it was a lot
neat.
of fun. It was a lot of fun. Thanks. And of course, I got Clyde, because Philo Beto was a character. This is Clyde. So he was an NPC, and Elvis was there with his Memphis Mafia. So they had blue ones, so you know they're NPCs.
Nice.
The Bandit. So yeah, these were cool to make. A lot of fun. I kind of did that a little bit in the most recent Monster Hunters Club game. I made VHS tape, almost like I stole the idea from another game. I saw that they did it. And so what I did was I bought a bunch of VHS cases and I made a label on it. So this is the chunk. He has a little bio here of what the chunk is in this game. Has his name there. But if you open it up, inside it has, I gave everybody, there was a character sheet in there. There's a pencil. I actually bought some old cards, trading cards. This is from Indiana Jones. So the kids have cards and stuff like that. I know I did growing up. And so the players get to keep all this stuff. I didn't
Did you put bubble gum in there too?
No, I didn't. I was thinking about buying candy, but I had enough of crap in here.
Wow, you were doing so well
little,
right up to that point, Carl, and now without bubble gum, I'm out. Sorry.
Well, it's funny, when I bought these off of eBay, some of them still had the bubble gum in them. Like, oh, they're fresh packs and gum. I'm like, I'm like, what? They sent them with it. I'm like, what the? Okay, but I'm not eating them. Pencils, I put a pencil in there for everybody. And the character sheet, I also put a little table tent so everybody can have.
Should have seen if your players would have eaten them for a penny.
So the character sheet, and not only this thing was the case, you could actually use it as a dice tray too. So later, like during the game, you could like fold it open and just roll your dice in there if you wanted to. But the main problem with this was I had a lot of players in my games, and there was no room for the dice tray thing, but they all appreciated the stuff inside. But so I made the character sheets as little report cards, kind of blowing out right there.
Nice.
So I had a little fun with the scratch and sniff stickers, which is all photoshopped and stuff.
Oh man, I remember those. Well, I used to get those when I was a kid in like grade 3. My teacher would give them out all the time. That actually made me really want to do well in school because you never know what smell you were going to get.
This is something I use that Eric was showing, that if you don't use a grid or something, what I do is I get it's called a painter's tarp that you can get at like Home Depot. And all I did was on one side, on the canvas side, was I kind of textured it. I don't know if you can see that, but it's kind of textured with, I used caulk and sand and kind of gravel and just kind of textured it and painted it with a texture. You just roll this out and you use measuring tapes or whatever for inches, and you can put buildings on this, or you can put flat maps if you want to on it, whatever you want to. It's a really cool like effect that you can get for very cheap.
Now,
Yeah.
it looks kind of thick, like it looks thick and durable. So there's sand on that, and what else?
Yeah, caulk. Caulk. Caulk.
He's playing stupid because he saw the one I made for
I know.
Wise Guys a couple years ago. I think it cost me like less than $10 to make one.
Yeah.
And what's
Super
yours made
cheap,
of,
man.
Eric? Sand and
Caulk.
Paint. Last one, at least I want to show this. This is a so I ran a home Ghostbusters game a long time ago, and this was one of the boxes I kept the stuff in, but I also used it as a prop during the game. I made my own Necronomicon. If you see that,
Wow.
it's kind of big, and it's one of those boxes that looks like a book, but you can keep crap in it. So I have a bunch of stuff in there, and so they wanted to know how big it was, so I went online and saw like a Halloween tutorial on how to do like a horror box, and I made this. So it's very textured, and so
are those real baby's teeth?
I'm not saying.
How many babies do you think you would have to pull the teeth out of, extract, in order to get that?
The one that get on your lawn.
Yeah, just the ones that are on your lawn. You get on your lawn. That's
See-
pretty much it. I just yeah. For the actual boxes and things, I bring stuff for games and stuff.
Man, you guys, you almost need to hire somebody to carry all that stuff around. That's why I travel light. I bring 6 beers and a pencil and some dice that, and if I don't have a whole set, I'll just, some other people's dice might go missing, but.
Hey, just bum him off the GM, man. He'll give you some dice.
Right? Yeah, transition over to this
mean,
bad
that's-
boy right here.
That's part of the fun. I mean,
Yeah.
of course, it's nice to travel light, but it's nice to show off all that cool terrain too. And me, it was like a huge 31-inch suitcase hard shell. Last time I flew, and it was packed with stuff.
Yeah.
Carl's got like 2 or 3 luggage there. He's got a satchel, like a gym bag, hockey bag type of thing full of boxes. So
Yeah, I fly Southwest, so you can put stuff up top, you can put stuff below, and you can put stuff you bring, a regular luggage. So I'm always stacked. Always stop by TSA too. Poker chips. They don't like poker chips. They don't
So
scan.
when you're traveling, it sounds like you guys use different airlines and whatnot. So which one of them is better for letting you bring your stuff on? Do you ever get stopped, harassed, hassled?
I always get TSA always stops me no matter what because the stuff I bring doesn't scan well, like the poker chips, the clay.
Yeah.
Sometimes in those chips it just won't scan, so they're always looking for my stuff, and I know that, so I'm cool with it. And they talk to me, and they're
Do you
fine.
think that they think that those are bomb parts or drugs? What do you think?
well, sometimes I know they make weapons with kind of the same thing, ceramics.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why I saw other people that got stopped on the way. Also, last time we flew, and it was because of bennies. The poker chip bennies. People get stopped. Mine was in my luggage, and when I came back, I saw the note that TSA said that they had gone through my stuff too. So it's always gonna happen.
I was dumb and brought empty shell casings one time, but they were empty as bennies. I used them as bennies, and they kind of looked at them, and they just like looked at me, and they was like, "Okay." I'm like, "All right, let me through with all these empty shell casings."
Now,
you're like full of toys in your luggage, and you're growing
Exactly.
grown man.
Exactly.
Did we mention that the Wild Die inspiration chip is made from pressed crack cocaine? Just for you. Make sure you subscribe to the Patreon in order to enter to.
I gotta go. I gotta go get my chip.
It's not.
Of course,
All
it's
right.
not.
Well, I think we've gone on long enough here. We got about an hour of show.
Yeah, it's good
And
stuff.
showing the props and all that. Thanks to everybody who showed up, even those who showed up late. Who showed up late, like Uncle Jay over there.
Yep.
Showed up at the end. But
Hi, Jay. My best friend, other than Eric. First best friend between you and Eric.
So yeah, tell all your friends to join us for the next show. Probably going to be October. We're planning on one show a month, and
Yeah.
if you have suggestions for other shows like this, if there's things you want us to show or guests that you want over, and of course don't forget about the the audio only show. Twice a month we release an episode, and we're on Podbean. And well, if you've been watching this show with the ticker and all that, that's going really, really slow. Maybe we need to speed it up a little bit.
Nope.
But no. Anyway,
Reading
all
is
the
for
info is in
losers.
there. All right. So yeah, this was fun. I hope you guys had fun, and we'll try to interact a bit more with you guys next time. We were trying to get a handle on things here and see how that works. But again, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, if you like the trade dressing of the show, man, that's all thanks to Carl. It actually looks really good.
Yep.
I'm super jealous. Jay's probably looking at me right now like, you big fat loser. Why don't we have some cool looking stuff like that? I'm working on it, Jay. I'm working on it. Right now we got a dumpster diving welfare show. I made it, but it's cool, man. Anyways, never mind. All right, we're good?
Bye, everybody.
All right.
Thanks.
Peace out, suckers.